Hi, welcome to this new series, CWI Practice Questions. I've designed these practice questions for aspiring CWI exam test takers or for those welding inspectors looking to refresh their knowledge with regards to welding inspection. This is just a 5 set of questions, so it is perfect to start your day basically. I will run through each of the choices so you will know the reason why it is a wrong or right answer. So let's get started. For the first question of this set, the most important part of an effective safety program is compliance of personnel, B. Protective equipment, C. Management support, D. Safety rules. So in order for a safety program to be effective, what do we need basically? So what is the most important aspect of it? So letter A, compliance of personnel. So compliance of personnel is needed basically for an effective safety program to be conducted, but it's just one piece of the puzzle basically, but it's not the most important part. Protective equipment is also important, but in terms of, if you remember the hierarchy of a safety program, so basically the first one is elimination of hazards, substitution, engineering and administrative controls, and the last one is PPE, right? Because it is the last line of protection for the personnel against any hazards. So basically it is important, but basically it is in the last part of that hierarchy. Letter C, management support. So like any other programs, maybe it's safety, quality, etc. So the management support is important for everyone's buy-in and compliance for an effective safety program. Safety rules is basically what entails that safety program. So the rules and regulations and the program itself, or what consists of the program itself for that safety program. So the answer here is letter C. So management support. So unlike any organizational program, management support is needed to have for everyone's buy-in and compliance with the safety program. It needs to start from the top basically. Next question. This is a type of permit used for welding, cutting, or similar activity is done to areas not normally assigned for such operations for the purpose of alerting the area supervisors. So letter A, cold work permit, B, hot work permit, C, vessel entry permit, D, no permit is needed. So for the first choice, so cold work permit, it is just for a work activity that doesn't produce sparks or doesn't generate any heat. So that's cold work. Hot work is for welding, cutting, that use oxyacetylene for that example. Basically the one that generates fumes or generates heat for that activity. For refineries, for plants that is normally not designed for any welding activity or any hot work activity, hot work permit is needed to alert the area supervisor of any activities that will generate heat, that will be a hazard to the plant because it might ignite the fumes. For example, in an oil and gas refinery or a petrochemical refinery, petrochemical plant that normally generates a fumes. So these hot spatter or generated heat might ignite those, basically creating fire. So vessel entry permit, this is used for confined spaces that needs to be validated first of its oxygen level before any activity is conducted or commenced. No permit is needed. So basically it is dangerous if we do not have any oversight for what mitigations or precautions the welders or the supervising personnel is doing for that hot work activity or for that welding or cutting activity as stated in this question. So the answer here is letter B. So it alerts the area supervisors of the areas in which hot work activities are going on, enabling him to prioritize the firefighting resources if needed be. So for example, mitigations are in place. Everything is fire extinguishers, but basically it was not enough. The fire generated just spread throughout the area. So if you have a hot work permit, basically it alerts the supervisors to prioritize those firefighting resources, the hydrants, the hoses, the fire trucks to that area. Which of the following is not considered a shielding gas? So shielding gas basically protects the weld from atmospheric gases, basically from embrittlement and contamination of hydrogen. Basically, shielding gas enables the quality of the weld from being contaminated by those gases. So in this question, what is not considered a shielding gas? Argon, helium, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So one of the basic traits of a shielding gas, it needs to be inert. So argon, helium, carbon dioxide are normally used as shielding gas for a lot of processes, basically for GMAW, GTAW. For SMAW, it also has a shielding gas which is generated from its flux or coating, electrode coating. So the answer here is carbon monoxide. So it is emitted as one of the harmful fumes or gases during welding, but it is not considered as a shielding gas. Next question. What is the reason why compressed gas cylinders are returned when there is still 25 psi of contents remaining? So basically this is a practice of handling compressed gas cylinders. So why is there a need to return it when there's still 25 psi? Is it not a basically is it not wasteful to just return it when you know it has contents? So what is the reason behind this one? A, because the trained personnel is used to filling contents without remaining pressure inside the cylinder. B, to prevent atmospheric contamination of the cylinder. C, to avoid explosion or combustion of the cylinder. D, none of the above. So letter A, basically the trained personnel is true. It is true that it's used to filling contents without remaining pressure, but the question here is what is the reason behind it? Letter B, to prevent atmospheric contamination of the cylinder. This is a good answer because basically if you have a pressure contained in that cylinder, the atmospheric gases will not be able to enter it because the pressure of the atmosphere is what, 14.7 psi. So basically it will not be able to contaminate the contents of the cylinder. So letter C, to avoid explosion or combustion of the cylinder. This might be problematic, but in order for the cylinder to explode, it needs to have a source of heat. So basically in this example, there's none. Letter D, none of the above. So the answer here is letter B. To prevent atmospheric contamination of the cylinder, the remaining pressure will serve as a seal, preventing the atmospheric gases from entering the cylinder. So the last question for this set is, to prevent fumes during welding, the most important factor is the type of base metal, the type of welding process, C, the type of filler metal, D, the position of the welder's head. So to prevent fumes during welding, so what will be the most important factor? Meaning the most important factor is the one that you can control, basically. So letter A, the type of base metal. Basically, different base metals have different production of fumes. So as letter B, the type of welding process. So different because of different filler metals that is used, different base metals, and the flux that is used for that specific filler metal, and the duty cycle used in the welding machine. So it differs depending upon the welding process. So letter C, the type of filler metal. So as I've mentioned, depending on the composition of that filler metal. Letter D, the position of the welder's head. Now this is the most important factor during to prevent fumes, as for example, during the design of the welder's helmet, the ANSI standard for safety of welding, basically, it has a clause wherein you need to conduct samples of the design for the design of the welding helmet near the breathing zone of the welder's head. So that's how important it is, the position of the welder's head. You need to sample that breathing zone to have a baseline in terms of designing the welder's helmet. Yeah, so the answer is letter D. It is the most important factor as this has the most exposure to the fumes, and not only the welder's helmet but also the ventilation, the type of ventilation used for that activity must also be designed to accommodate the position of the welder's head. So that's it. If you want to kickstart your journey to become a CWI, I have a link down below in the description that will take you through a free online course regarding the introductory part of the fundamentals of the CWI exam. Basically, it covers the welding inspector roles and responsibilities and the welding safety practices. It also has sample questions like these that you can practice with as a part of your preparation towards becoming a CWI. So if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more. See you on the next one.